Welcome to Deleted Saves. On this episode, Bionic Commando on the NES. Depending on whom you ask, the concept of the genre mashup can either be the worst thing ever or amazing. There's not too many people who are on the fence about this subject. I'm on the side of the genre mashups being an excellent idea under the right circumstances. And by the time Bionic Commando for the NES reached shelves in 1988, it was not the first time the world had seen the convergence of military shooter, espionage, and science fiction, Metal Gear having come out just the year before. In addition, it was not the first time the home console game was radically different from the arcade version. In the arcades, Bionic Commando was touted as a sequel to the arcade shooter Commando. However, when I first saw the NES version advertised, I knew none of this. Nor did I know the game was heavily censored in the West, but more on that in a bit. The game that I saw was a platformer, as so many games were on the NES, but to me it seemed so much more, based on the main protagonist's means of moving about the screen, a bionic grappling arm. Thus the conceit of the game, and the thing that made this singular commando, well, bionic. Our protagonist, Nathan Rad Spencer, an 80s name if there ever was one, is sent on a mission to save his predecessor Super Joe. No other name given. I can only assume that somewhere a Mr. and Mrs. Joe were taking all of the piss available on this one. It being the 1980s, Spencer is tasked with not only finding Super Joe, but also discovering if the rumors of a bad guy superweapon were true. Again, similar to the previously mentioned Metal Gear and its nuclear-armed walking tank, and destroy such a weapon if possible. Recall when I said Bionic Commando was heavily censored in the West? Well, here's why. Bionic Commando, when it was created in Japan, used the concept of Nazi imagery and SS soldiers reborn in the 1980s to bring about a new era of World War through outlandish science fiction means. As one could imagine, this did not sit well with an American censorship board, especially for a device seen as a children's toy full of colorful characters with no connection to reality. This was something I found somewhat ironic, as my own grandfather, a World War II veteran, was more than happy to tell me about his time fighting fascists and hunting Erwin Rommel across North Africa, so that particular cat was already out of the bag. Whatever the case, the Nazi imagery was changed to a somewhat generic villain named Mr. Bad with two Bs. Well, the 80s never stop. And his men were recolored from brown shirts to red, and the censors were satisfied. In the 80s, communists were the international bad guys of so much media, and red was the popular color choice. As to why this game stood out to me, well, it was the first game I played that felt to me what the gaming community would come to know as open world. With the use of the game's signature item, the grappling arm, I could swing from iron beams to lampposts, ascend vertically at speed, and swing wherever I may like, provided the grappling hook could latch successfully onto the scenery. In other platformers, I could only get my character to hop about the same height as I would expect someone with two bad knees to be able to leap, and if I was lucky, make forward progression, and only ever forward progression. Meaning that if I missed something, I was stuck, and it was gone. In this game, I could move in any direction I chose, forward, backward, up, down. The pixelated sky was the limit. Additionally, by grabbing enemy drops, you could improve Rad Spencer's health. Through exploration of the map, you could gain more equipment that would help you traverse during your adventure. Early allusions to the systems of progression known in action role-playing games. The sci-fi overlay onto an otherwise simple military platform shooter brought to my mind the possibilities of what could be by mixing genres and storytelling, something that would stick with me throughout my creative life. Well, like so many NES-era games, this one too was something I was unable to complete, despite my multiple attempts to find and rescue Super Joe and defeat the forces of Mr. Bad. I can only imagine that my version of Nathan Rad Spencer died behind enemy lines, and Mr. Bad, shocked by such an ignoble repeated death of this incompetent soldier, threw down his super weapons and took up a quiet life somewhere, perhaps tending to pigeons and drunk texting Super Joe for years afterward. Although it was the 80s, maybe Mr. Bad took all his ill-gotten gains and is sitting on a beach somewhere, paper umbrella-laden drink in hand, earning 20%. Now that would be an open-world genre mashup worth writing a manifesto about. Thank you for listening.